You ready to do the draw?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we'll do that. Brian from Tin Shed is going to draw for the tickets tonight. We also have, we have the Philly-Vegas hockey game on. We have the Monday Night Football game on. There's 5 TVs plus in this room alone, and then there's the bar area. So if you want to come watch a game, it's a good place to do it. They're also home for Bills games, and you can order online from tinshed.com/online ordering. They are now offering take and bake pizza fundraising, great for sports teams and other organizations, 50-50 revenue split. Kids eat free Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. Mondays, you buy one pizza, get one free, any size, any toppings. And, again, you can find all this at tinshedmn.com. You'll even see Michael Russo's beautiful portrait at tinshedmn.com. Yes, there's a beautiful portrait of Michael Russo. Vicki.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Good.
Good.
I'm glad you got here.
You're holding your phone as if you have a question from Philip.
Well, actually, I'm now your national correspondent because
Okay.
I have questions from 2 different states tonight.
Here we go.
Oh, my goodness.
Michael's fired up about this.
Yeah. No, I'm glad you got here because Mike was going to haul me up there in the other seat.
Oh, I shouldn't have come.
Oh, no.
That would have been great.
No, that wouldn't have been a problem. Philip wants to know, Mike, is it concerning or just circumstantial that only 6 forwards played the last 4 minutes of the game?
I think it's circumstantial, but look, last night he went down to 3 lines down the stretch and didn't play. I think Mayhew, pretty much Fiala and Donato. But down the stretch last night, it wasn't only 6 forwards, but he went down to 3 lines, and I do think that they had to win that game, and Bruce was going with the guys that he trusted down the stretch there.
I was pleased with Dumont. He looked good.
He looked really good. He really did. I knew nothing about him, and I saw him in camp, and he played the one exhibition game at home where I thought he looked really good that game too with Luke Johnson. And we're already seeing the effects of Luke Johnson being hurt in Iowa. Already the Wild need a center, and they have to go to their second guy, their second depth guy down there, and Dumont. And you're like, oh boy, this is going to be a problem. But he absolutely looks like a guy. I noticed right away in practice on Saturday that at a minimum he was confident, because I've never seen a call-up be as vocal as he was on the ice during drills. Just constantly talking. And for him to feel, for a minor leaguer that was not in Vail, to feel comfortable enough to sit there and instruct from a center perspective guys like Hartman and Foligno on those drills, I thought that was really impressive. And so he, so far so good. We'll see. A lot of times we see these guys play well and then kind of fizzle out. We'll see if he continues.
Well, he should be pretty psyched up because Bruce even said how he had confidence in him. So,
well, you saw it. I mean, he played him in the third period. He wasn't playing Donato and Fiala,
Oh, God, no.
So.
Yeah, for sure. This question is from Allison.
Hey.
In Iowa.
Nice.
She wants to know why Sealer is in Boudreau's doghouse.
Yeah. Well, I will say I was surprised that Soucy had been getting so much ice time. Like, I didn't like Soucy's game in Toronto. And then finally Sealer was back in Montreal. Then he made the one mistake on the play that kind of turned the game around by putting the puck in the stands. And then so it didn't surprise me that Soucy was back yesterday. But Soucy played a great game yesterday. But in terms of Sealer, I don't know. Bruce didn't like his camp. I could tell you that. He didn't like that he had instructed him after, feeling that he lost his composure a little bit in training camp. He sat with him and told him to chill out. And then he didn't like in Nashville. He didn't get called for it, but he was hit hard in the corner. And then all of a sudden he got up and retaliated. And he didn't get called for it, but I think that bothered Bruce, and then he took him out of the lineup pretty much for good. And then it was interesting in Montreal the other night, in the first period early before the game got out of hand, he was popped in the left corner in the offensive zone, and he just got up and continued to play, didn't even think about going after him. So that to me was a sign that he's learned his lesson. It stinks because also Patterson's going to be back at some point, and you just do feel like there's getting to the point where Steelers on the outside looking in. I think it's still way, way too early to give up on him. And he's just, honestly, as a human being, he's just a great guy. So hopefully this continues. But right now, Soucy, he just has a lot of confidence in the guy. And Soucy played an awesome game yesterday, so Soucy's going to be playing against Edmonton.
Yeah, I think Allison is concerned that the baby Wild players that have come up here are doing well.
Yeah, I mean, and the thing is that Sealert has no waivers. He needs waivers, so it's like, they're not going to take that risk and lose a good young defenseman. So he's kind of stuck here being the extra guy. That's why it's interesting. I'll be interested what happens with Donato. I know they've talked about behind the scenes, and now that they're banged up with injuries, he might not get sent down. But remember, if he plays one more game after that, if he plays a second game, he can never, for the rest of his career, be waiver ineligible. So what I'm trying to say, to make it simpler, is that for the rest of his career, he's got to be put on waivers to get to the minors. If he plays the next game tomorrow, and then a second game. So
could you go through that one more time?
I'm just saying he's got 2 games until he needs waivers for the rest of his life.
Right.
So if he plays that second game, he needs waivers the rest of his life.
Right.
So, in other words, after tomorrow's Edmonton game, before Nashville, the Wild really have to make a smart decision here. Do you send him down and try to get him confident and scoring and shooting and all that stuff? Because if he plays in Nashville, you can never again, and for the rest of his career, put him on waivers. And remember, the Wild have made that mistake a couple times. They did it with Eric Halla. Remember Mikey Riley? Remember Mikey, they let his waiver time clock expire, and then all of a sudden he was out of the lineup, and they wanted to, and essentially he was a scratch forever, and they couldn't do anything with him. And finally he requested to be traded, and they traded him. So, and Halla, same thing. This is a big deal. As organizations, you only control rights of your young players for so long. And Donato's about to get full control of his career in 2 games. Yeah. So for a guy that does not look good right now or confident or anything, you might have to make this move. And to me, it could be a temporary move. And yeah, you got to pay him his $1.9 million in the salary. But and I'm not trying to. I think the world of Ryan Donato as a human. So I'm not trying to kick him off this roster. But I think that if the Wild are making a smart decision, you might want to consider sending him down there for 2 or 3 weeks and getting him back up here in mid-November, and get him confident. Remember, they sent Greenway down for a couple games last year. In Game 2, he had a hat trick. Sometimes it's good for a player.
Well, I'm going to hold good thoughts for Nick. They're playing his episode on Becoming Wild this week.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, they don't get any more Minnesota than him.
You want to hear a funny Alex Stalock story?
Sure.
This is great, too. I'm going to be scooping myself because I'm writing about this tomorrow. So you just brought up the Becoming Wild thing. So Alex Stalock, his entire Wild career has never been in the Wild calendar, and it's bothered him, okay? And he's made comments. Well, yesterday, just coincidentally, his son Simon comes in the room and finds the Wild calendar and starts flipping through the calendar and goes, "Dad, where are you?" And Alex is like, "Well, keep flipping, boy. Unless there's 28 months in this calendar, I'm not in there." Okay. So his son disappointingly throws down. Well, what happened is a couple weeks ago when he first saw the calendar that came out and saw he wasn't in there, he said something like, "How many years do I have to be on this team to get myself on the calendar?" So the Wild felt so guilty that the promotions department, they made 2 specific Alex Stalock only calendars, on the full glossy paper, everything. Every month is Alex Stalock picture. And they gave him 2, one for him and one for his son. And how just funny is it that yesterday his son noticed that he wasn't in it, and this is obviously the Wild this has been something they've done for the last couple of weeks. And so it was really funny today in the locker room when Alex was telling me the story. So
I just heard from Luke. He has a question for you.
Do people just text you questions?
Yeah, they do.
Apparently.
Yeah. He's curious if Dubnyk is still doing the same puck tracking training he started to do a few years ago in the off season.
I haven't asked him. I really haven't.
Well, it says it feels like he isn't tracking the puck as well anymore.
Yeah.
He could see how it'd be harder to travel for specialized off-season training with a growing family.
Yeah, I can tell you that this summer he stayed in Minnesota the entire summer, didn't go home, didn't go back to his home in Kelowna. So my guess is he didn't go out there and visit, but I haven't asked him specifically. I do agree that he just doesn't seem to be tracking the puck well. Everything seems to be eventful right now, and so that obviously needs to change. I'm not even talking about the rebounds that he's serving up, on those goals last night. I'm just talking about just every kind of shot. It just seems like he's having trouble swallowing it. So,
Cool.
Thanks, Vicki. Appreciate it.
Thanks.
And Brian, whenever you're ready, we'll do the drawing. I do want to thank Tony Hoagland, Hoaglund. You know him. He's been sponsoring the show for a long time. And right now, if you call Tony at 763-421-4900 and just ask what his company can do for you, he will donate $16 to Jason Zucker's foundation, and National State Farm will match it. So $32 will go to a very good cause.
Hi, Talk North listeners. I wanted to let you all know about State Farm's new program called Quotes for Good. We partner with local nonprofits to raise money for great causes. For the Russo-Souhan Show, I'll be donating $16 to the Jason and Carly Zucker Give 16 campaign that benefits the University of Minnesota Masonic Children's Hospital. When you call in, be sure to mention the show so that we can track the donations. You can reach us at 763-421-4900 or check out our website at champlininsurance.com.
Now we have Brian from Tin Shed. We first of all appreciate Brian having us here. It's been a blast. It's a great place to do shows. And we, of course, are giving away Wild tickets. And when I say we, I mean Brian is giving away Wild tickets. This is Brian's deal. This is his tickets that he's giving away. And so it's a cool thing. I'll let you take it from there, Brian.
Thanks, Jim.
It's cool how you installed that tin shed at the front.
Yep.
Since last
Michael
time.
just noticed today there's a tin shed at Tin Shed.
Just figured it out.
He's a reporter.
I usually have my head looking at my phone when I'm walking.
Well, okay, that's true.
All right, I just want to thank again everybody for coming out and supporting the show and supporting the Tin Shed. Just a quick reminder on the drawing. When you're here, you can enter in. And you have to be here to win. So hopefully whoever's name I draw out of this bucket wins. Or is here today, I should say, not wins. And I have a couple games to pick from, so I'll draw one name, and there's a couple options for everybody for the winner to choose from. So,
remember, next two shows, November 13th and 20th. Get this goalie out of there. Sorry. Vegas goalie is just a sieve.
how about Kelsey May?
All right.
Look at you.
Beautiful.
Right. That's better than the last time.
Awesome. That was easy.
Well, that's a buzzkill for everybody else. Thanks for coming. Appreciate it.
And is that the end of our deal? Should we? Anything else going on? I just wanted to make sure I didn't interrupt you if you were doing it. So again, thank you to Brian. Thank you to Tin Shed for doing that, and congratulations on winning the tickets. Kelly will continue to do that. And again, I want to get
disappointing for everybody else here, though, Kelly.
That's some Minnesota. That's some Minnesota level guilt right there. That goes to the pull tabs and everything else.
That is her name, right?
Yes.
Okay.
No.
I don't know. I might have misheard. All right.
I'm not going to leave you hanging there. Let's do some Twitter questions. We don't always get to a lot. We're doing live shows, but we have some good ones today. The mic is still free if anybody wants to come up and ask questions while you're here. From Big Zoo, we all know how much Michael likes to talk about expansion drafts. Is it easier for a team on a rebuild to go through an expansion draft? I'll go first, protect Dumba. Can you imagine how awful Fenton would have done in that process? Had to get the Fenton shot in.
Yeah. Well, speaking of Fenton, I mean, that no move clause to Zuccarello is going to cost him a young player. So, hello.
That's a good point, actually.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, I would think that Dumba's would be protected. I mean, we'll see in a couple of years where everybody is, what this roster looks like. It's way too early to try to even speculate. It's funny. Speaking of way too early to try to speculate, last December we did a blitz at the Athletic where we did do the way too early expansion draft. And you go back and look at the players that I had protected, and they're like all gone now, right? Granlund and Coyle and Niederreiter. Zucker was laughing at me a couple of weeks ago. He was telling me that TSN did some sort of way too early expansion draft, and the guy that everybody had going to Seattle was Zucker. And he just thinks it's so funny that for the rest of his career he's going to have to deal with like trade rumors, and now it's the expansion draft. It's like never ending for him. But it'll be interesting. I mean, like I was thinking about this today. Like it's just going to be interesting how Bill Guerin continues to analyze his team. Because it takes, Wild fans know this team like the inside of their hands, and so they want like, what's taking so long? Well, you got to give them time. It's like Peter Chiarelli was in Edmonton for an entire year before he started. Really, you take the year to analyze, and And frankly, what the Wild better hope is that then Billy Guerin doesn't take a guy and say, after that year, I'm going to trade Taylor Hall for Adam Washington. Like, that would be a mistake. So, not that the Wild have Taylor Hall, but my point is this, is that he's got